Sanjay Sarma, Grasp, The Science Transforming How We Learn. Welcome to the summary of A Grasp, The Science Transforming How We Learn by Sanjay Sarma. This book explores the gaps between conventional education systems and what current cognitive science tells us about effective learning. Throughout the summary, you will discover how traditional learning methods often fail to meet the needs of our brains and the price we pay for this dissonance. You will also learn about alternative approaches to education, such as discovery learning, ending with a call for a new paradigm in learning that combines traditional structured instruction and engaging, curiosity-driven exploration.
Rethinking education for success. The conventional education system falls short of aligning with recent advances in cognitive science. Our schools are often not designed for our brains and result in a heavy price. True education is about providing deep, contextualized, and useful knowledge that goes beyond mere memorization. Sadly, current methods aim to separate worthy students from unworthy ones, using tests and exams as deciding factors. The world needs to reshape the education system to bring out the fullest potential in every student to address global challenges like climate change. Think back to your school days, where you probably found yourself stuck at a desk surrounded by classmates while a teacher lectured by a somewhat illegible blackboard. This may still be the norm around the world, but it barely scratches the surface of what truly effective education should be based on how our brain functions and how we learn the best. In today's educational system, the focus is often misplaced. A useful education should equip individuals with a deep understanding of knowledge that's contextually relevant and immediately applicable. It shouldn't stop at memorizing information, it's about making connections to the broader world and applying that knowledge when needed. Take this example: you've studied pressure waves in pipes in an engineering class, and you aced the exam. Now working on an oil rig, you're faced with preventing or fixing bursting pipes. If you can't apply the concepts you learned, the knowledge itself becomes less valuable. One key reason behind the prevailing inadequacy in education is its focus on separating worthy from unworthy students through a process called winnowing. The widespread use of IQ scores, standardized tests, and high-pressure exams seek to rank students based on their innate abilities. Yet, research shows that these metrics fall short in accurately capturing intelligence and promote inefficient learning, unfairly casting aside numerous promising minds. This misalignment of the education system has severe consequences, as countless gifted individuals are disregarded due to factors like geography, gender, or socioeconomic status, which the current methods cannot account for. The world faces significant challenges such as climate change and needs all the brilliant minds at its disposal. To address these pressing issues, we must first reimagine and reconstruct the education system. By dismantling deep-rooted misconceptions and giving precedence to understanding rather than mere memorization, we can create a learning environment that nurtures every single learner's potential. Achieving this will help students bridge the gap between the classroom and real-world scenarios while encouraging all to reach their true potential. This new educational landscape will cultivate innovative, knowledgeable leaders to tackle global challenges that lie ahead. Unleashing the joy of learning. Learning doesn't have to be unpleasant, it works better when it's engaging and enjoyable. Our education systems evolved from outdated assumptions and outdated teaching methods, which often fail to stimulate our natural love for learning. Successful education should inspire us to think differently and provide context to the subjects we explore. By applying insights from cognitive science, we can structure learning experiences that mimic successful tactics used in prestigious institutions. Think back to your childhood, a time when the world was full of new experiences, and every day brought new discoveries. You interacted with your environment, exploring your surroundings, and learning about the world by engaging with it. In essence, you were a little scientist, naturally driven to learn and understand the world. Despite popular belief, learning doesn't have to be difficult or unpleasant. In fact, it works best if it's fun and engaging. So, why do classrooms often feel far from the thrill of discovery we experienced on our childhood adventures? One reason lies in the outdated assumptions upon which our education systems are built. They often value easily measurable and standardized methods over encouraging the inherent joy of learning. To foster successful learning, our approach towards education must shift away from the labor-intensive, no pain, no gain mindset. Instead, it's essential to focus on making education more engaging and to provide context to the subjects being taught. For instance, the ultimate goal of learning physics shouldn't be solely to learn physics. It should inspire learners to apply the principles of physics to think differently and engage with the world. This approach requires more than merely absorbing information. It demands context and seeing subjects within a broader scope of events, ideas, and people. A perfect example of this kind of education is the engineering class, course 2.007, at MIT. In this class, students learn not only the theory but also continuously participate in hands-on challenges. Rather than conventional final exams, students build robots to compete in an end-of-semester event, showcasing their acquired knowledge without the pressure often associated with exams. Not everyone may have the opportunity to experience MIT's approach to education, but the principles behind their success can still be applied broadly. Insights from cognitive science offer strategies to structure learning more effectively and create enjoyable and successful educational experiences. By understanding and embracing our natural love for learning, we can transform how we teach and maximize our full potential. Beyond cramming, effective learning. The prevalent use of exams in the educational system often leads to cramming, a practice detrimental to long-term learning. Embracing spaced learning, interleaving study subjects, and allowing for temporary forgetting could improve information retention by strengthening synaptic connections. Education systems must reconsider their approaches to learning and incorporate these methods to foster optimal memory retention. Cramming, a familiar yet frenzied study technique that kicks in just before a big exam. Fueled by caffeine and anxiety, students attempt to jam as much information into their brains as possible. While cramming might seem effective for passing exams, it goes against the brain's optimal learning processes. Educational systems predominantly rely on tests for student evaluation, driving students to adopt cramming practices even though it hinders long-term memory. This conflict arises from a lack of understanding of our brain's learning mechanisms, which involve synapses being strengthened over time due to a process called long-term potentiation. Spaced learning is essential as it allows the brain to form stronger synaptic connections, resulting in better memory retention. There are various ways to incorporate spaced learning into educational practices. One strategy involves pre-tests, which provide students with opportunities to retrieve information multiple times. This repetition encourages stronger memory connections. Another technique, called interleaving, alternates subjects during study sessions, similar to rotating between golf clubs at a driving range. Research has shown that interleaving and spaced learning promote higher retention levels. Surprisingly, temporary forgetting can also enhance memory. Forgetting acts as a pruning mechanism, preventing our brains from being overwhelmed by excessive information. When we forget and recall something later, we eliminate extraneous associations and form stronger connections. As an illustration, imagine meeting someone at a party and repeating their name. Initially, you may not remember the name, but after a short break, recalling the name amidst other activities helps it stick better. Unfortunately, these cognitive science insights have yet to be broadly acknowledged or adopted by education systems. It's time for a shift in perspective towards learning methods that better align with the natural processes of our brains. By embracing spaced learning, interleaving, and allowing for temporary forgetting, we can make learning more effective and long-lasting for students. Unleashing curiosity for effective learning. Curiosity, the driving force behind our quest for knowledge, can significantly enhance the learning process. Neuroscience proves that internal motives and imagination, as showcased by discovery education approaches, effectively propel educational development. However, to harness curiosity and achieve scalable, accessible education, a balance between these approaches and traditional instructional methods is required. When you were a child at the beach, searching for something new, curiosity captivated your mind as you stumbled upon an intriguing piece of coral. Our brains draw us to explore things we don't know but could potentially understand. This curiosity is the foundation of learning, and neuroscience has linked it to long-term potentiation, the key component in acquiring new knowledge. Long before the modern discoveries in neuroscience, educators recognized curiosity's potential and sought ways to integrate it into learning environments. The core idea is that curiosity can amplify the learning experience, leading to innovative educational outcomes. John Dewey, a prominent American educator, attempted to cultivate interest-centered learning, an approach that is relevant even though his schools did not prevail. Montessori schools, born from a similar tradition, have gained more traction by acknowledging the convergence of learning and play. Young children interacting and experimenting with colorful objects depict the Montessori philosophy, representing one of the pivotal discovery education methods. Various experimental learning approaches, such as discovery education, share the notion that education should be driven by internal motives and imagination. Renowned psychologist Jean Piaget reinforced this belief, suggesting that knowledge is something that people actively create rather than passively receive. There is concrete evidence supporting the effectiveness of curiosity-driven learning approaches. Montessori graduates have outperformed their peers in traditional educational settings in numerous studies. However, these experimental methods have limitations and challenges. They are often resource-intensive and difficult to scale up, requiring skilled teachers and substantial investments to replicate their success. To create an all-inclusive education system, it is vital that knowledge remains accessible for everyone. Moreover, the motivational power of curiosity and discovery requires some structure and guidance to reach its full potential. Balancing discovery-driven and structured instructional approaches is crucial to harness the immense value of curiosity in education. By striking that balance and blending innovative methods with traditional classroom instruction, we can create a potent formula for effective learning, enhanced by curiosity and leading to a more knowledgeable and engaged society. Balancing structure with imagination. The blend of structured instruction and imaginative discovery form the basis for more effective learning experiences. By incorporating elements of both cognitive science and formal instruction, new teaching methods have emerged to enhance the educational experience. Innovative institutions embrace the inquiring mind, allowing for a more adaptive and holistic environment where traditional and discovery learning intersect. The mysteries of sand, a material we so frequently interact with, lead us to rely on our imaginations to fill in the blanks. We may create stories, like sand crafted by tiny gnomes, to make sense of the world around us. However, when we enter a classroom and receive structured lessons on erosion, friction, and molecular structures, these imaginative stories are replaced with scientifically accurate explanations. This exchange of information exemplifies the necessity of both discovery and structured learning to create a complete understanding of the world. While our imagination fuels learning and engages the mind, structure and formal instruction play the vital role of ensuring we obtain a factual and coherent understanding of subjects. Current education systems, unfortunately, often fall short of blending these aspects. They tend to lean towards what can be measured, quantified, and scaled. Institutions like 42, a private, non-profit coding school, and MIT's Technology-Enabled Active Learning (TEAL) initiative challenge that status quo. They offer examples of flexible, student-driven approaches that incorporate elements of both cognitive science and structured learning. At 42, the progression of students relies on their ability to complete a series of projects that increase in complexity. This mastery learning approach means there are only a few instructors, which encourages students to teach and learn from each other. This model opens up the possibility for more hands-on experience, tailored to individual needs. Similarly, the TEAL initiative at MIT combines lectures, simulations, experiments, and group work into a cohesive and holistic learning experience. Both methods have had a positive impact on student performance and engagement. The key lies in combining the strengths of structured learning and imaginative discovery to create a more effective and engaging learning environment. By harnessing the power of the inquiring mind, bridging curiosity gaps, and employing technology in the learning process, we can create a richer educational experience. This fusion of traditional techniques and more innovative approaches allows for a modernized and scaled educational system that keeps learners motivated and curious while ensuring a solid foundation of accurate knowledge. Reinventing educational approaches. College offers an opportunity to explore new teaching methods that bridge theoretical learning and practical application, as demonstrated in MIT's Course 2.007. There is no one-size-fits-all solution to improving education, but the current challenging times call for reassessing traditional approaches and reimagining educational structures. Technology can be an effective tool, but it should be used as a complement to comprehensive education instead of replacing teachers or compromising student privacy. You're in college now, let's say, MIT. The end of the semester arrives, and the awe-inspiring robotic projects created by first-year students in Course 2.007 leave you impressed. This course exemplifies the delicate balance between learning concepts and applying them in the real world. How did Course 2.007 achieve this sought-after connection between theory and practice? The answer lies in combining both aspects of the Latin expression mens et manus, meaning mind and hand. This combination allows students to absorb information while experimenting and applying their newfound knowledge. In an era full of change and disruption, it's crucial to question traditional educational structures and replace outdated methods with new, scientifically backed approaches. While sharing MIT's classes worldwide might be impossible, technology can help expand the application of the school's best practices. However, it's essential to remember that technology is not the ultimate solution to education's shortcomings. Its effectiveness depends on the social and economic context in which it's implemented. In some underfunded schools, e-learning is a poor substitute for the teachers lost to budget cuts, and it fails to provide comprehensive education. Furthermore, technology can raise ethical concerns regarding surveillance and privacy. Schools may monitor students, record their facial expressions, and keep permanent records of every action. Is such control over students' lives what we truly desire? To build a better education system, we must challenge traditional structures that hold us back, improve access, reduce emphasis on innate differences, and create learning methods that include both facts and practical skills. Change is necessary, and while there's a long way to go, technology can help in this pursuit. By seizing the opportunity for innovation, we can prevent the loss of potential future geniuses who might otherwise be overlooked by the current system. Embracing a new approach to education is a far better choice than allowing another generation of Einsteins to fall through the cracks.
In conclusion, GRASP highlights the need for a new approach to education, one that embraces both structured instruction and curiosity-driven learning. The book encourages moving away from outdated and ineffective methods and towards the incorporation of cognitive science to support more efficient learning experiences. The key takeaway is that neither traditional nor discovery learning should be excluded, but rather they should be harmoniously combined to unlock effective, meaningful education that can reach a wider audience. By tapping into the curiosity and engagement of students and combining it with the right instructional methods, we have the potential to revolutionize education and prepare the next generation of learners to solve the world's biggest challenges.